And while suspense grows over what kind of order the Karnataka High Court will pass, there was every hope that they would pass an order today and neatly end this entire controversy to the satisfaction of all sides, most of all the students who are at the center of it. But there is a clearest link that has emerged now of a political link to the hijab face-off, with the students perhaps, as many people suspect, being used as vulnerable pawns. A minor petitioner students have filed an application before the High Court. Obviously, someone has done it on their behest to postpone the hearing of this case in the Karnataka High Court till assembly elections that are on in different states come to an end. The Karnataka BJP has alleged that the hijab showdown is staged and linked to the ongoing assembly elections. Are hijab-clad girls being used as political pawns? Are they even in control of what's actually happening at this point of time? Who is instigating this hijab war is a question we've asked from day one, and it's a question that reverberates even louder at this time. Take a look at this report.
Karnataka schools continue to witness the hijab protests. Schools and study remain hostage to the hijab face-off. This hijab controversy continues to be on the boil, triggering more Nataka in the schools. In this school in Mandya, one young student was asked to remove her headscarf. There was high drama as his father intervened and took her home, refusing to let her daughter continue with the studies by removing the hijab. In Gadag, girls who entered into the classroom wearing the headscarf were sent back, leading to chaotic scenes outside the school gate, with even the cops intervening. In Kalaburgi, pro-hijab students opted for online classes after they were caught on camera entering into the classes without the headscarf yesterday. Not just that. In Chikmagalur, some students with the hijab entered into the school and broke into clapping. Several parents of the hijab-wearing girls got into heated arguments with the school officials and even the cops outside the school gate. In Kodagu, many hijabi girls were sent home after they entered the classes, and now many have stopped attending the classes. Amid this clamour for the headscarf, a clear political link to the pro-hijab petitioners has now come to the fore. At least 5 minor petitioner students filed an application before the High Court to postpone the hearing of the hijab case till the assembly elections in 5 states come to an end. They pleaded that the hijab case is being used by political parties for polarization. The High Court, however, nixed the bid, saying there is no reference from the election panel and these petitioners are not residents of the states that are witnessing elections. The Bharatiya Janata Party questioned the bid to link hijab case to the ongoing elections and called the entire episode staged for political mileage.
मैं मानता हूँ इसके विषय पर ज़्यादा नहीं बनाना चाहिए. जो स्कूल्स का जो नाम से है वो नाम से चलना चाहिए. मजहब के आधार पर कोई भी नहीं देखना चाहिए. इसलिए ये पढ़ाई है, बच्चे हैं, स्टूडेंट्स हैं, उनके बीच में ये रिलीजियस इश्यू इतना बड़ा नहीं करना चाहिए.
बच्चों 8, 9, 10वीं कक्षा में है. वोटर लिस्ट में भी नाम नहीं है, एलिजिबिलिटी भी नहीं है. उसके पहले यूपी चुनाव के बारे में एप्लीकेशन डालता है. हुकूमत क्या है, हिम्मत इसके पीछे क्या है? मुझे लगता है एक साजिश है. हिजाब एजेंडा पकड़कर माइनॉरिटी ऑर्गेनाइज करने का एक साजिश कांग्रेस कर रहा है.
See, central government is BJP government. State government is again the BJP government. All the intelligence report, all the details, all the information, they have got more than us. Now, let them clarify who is there, what is there. Unnecessary, let them not politicalize these things. I request all the senior leaders who are talking like this, please keep quiet for a few days.
Bureau Report, India Today.
And amidst all of these allegations of instigation, of external pressure on the parents and the students, in response to allegations that fringe groups are manipulating and using these students as pawns for a larger political game, I'm joined now by Ashwin Sadik. He is the National General Secretary of the Campus Front of India, a group that is accused by the Karnataka government of actually sparking this entire issue of the hijab and instigating the students and goading the parents to create an issue out of it, in fact, to also go to court. Ashwin, welcome. My first question, what are your expectations from the Karnataka High Court? There was a second hearing that happened today in quick succession, another hearing tomorrow, but what are your expectations, Ashwin?
You see, the trials are going on. Today, around 2:30, the hearings again started. So we expect that we have hope and faith in the Honorable High Court. So we expect that the students, they will get their rights and the justice will be prevailed.
Why are the petitioners, Ashwin, seeking a hold on the verdict till the election results? You know, has this Campus Front of India advised them in any way? And, you know, I want to put a caveat here. We keep saying petitioners, but, you know, everyone knows that the petitioners are not necessarily those 6 innocent students. You know, obviously there are instigators behind the scene who are sort of acting on their behest. Have you advised them to petition that this verdict be kept in abeyance until the elections are over?
You see, the whole incident is completely based upon politics. Because, you know, within the 1 year, the Karnataka elections will be coming. So,
which is
there's
next
a political game going on in which that the BJP, they needs a vote bank, they need to secure their vote bank, they need to play vote politics. So considering that all these issues are going on in Karnataka.
No, are you saying that you want the petitioners to demand that the court hold on to its verdict until next year? The assembly elections in Karnataka are next year. Is that how long you want the court to sit on this?
No, you see, we say that the court must give an interim order, or court must give a judgment very soon, because it is a matter of the education. The students must pursue the education, it's their right. So as soon as possible, the court must give the verdicts.
But you've made this about the students. You've made the students pawns, it appears. You know, it's the same thing that you are accusing the BJP, the VHP, the right wing of. They are accusing you of doing that. They're saying that the real powers, the real movers behind the children and their parents are groups like yours.
You see, going to the court for their rights, it's a right of each and every individual. No one can question that rights. And the students, they need their rights. So there is they didn't need anyone to go for court. It's their decision that if the justice has been not prevailed by the state, they has gone for court seeking justice.
But Ashwin, you know, some say that the very fact that you're speaking on behalf of the students is proof that they're being used as pawns. You know, why is it that your group is front and center in going to court on their behalf? You're saying that these kids have every right to go to the court. Sure, they do. Nobody's saying it's a crime to go to court. They have every right to go to court. But it seems like this Campus Front of India is the power behind guiding them to court, telling them what to do in court, telling them what to say, what to petition, etc., etc. And therefore, it's not so much the students, it's groups like yours that are managing this whole thing.
You see, there are their parents. They're not only students. They have a family, they have a parents. So through that, they have approached the court. It is not a crime that the minor student go for court for their rights. Is it a crime in India?
Okay, that doesn't answer my question, because I was not saying it's wrong for them to go to court. I'm just saying that maybe, they are having to do this because of the pressure from groups like yours. My final question to you, what if the verdict goes against the petitioners? The question we are asking, and from day one, we've been saying that, the fringe and activists should sit this one out. This is about the students. And India Today has always said students first. There's a big controversy on Twitter over a tease we had put out for my show yesterday. But the fact is, will everyone comply with whatever verdict the court puts out? Or is that why, everyone wants the verdict to be held off until the elections are over?
You see, I will quote you some incidents. The campus front entered this issue from the first week of January. From the first week of January till February 7th, no violence was instigated in Karnataka. No issues were erupted in Karnataka. No stone pelting issues were erupted in Karnataka. If you take this issue from starting, Campus Front of India leaders didn't make some statements which will instigate the communal violence, or leaders doesn't give any statement regarding hatred spreading. So you see, complete statement was given by BJP leaders. You see, the education minister, first of all, he given a statement that it's an action and reaction. After that, what happened? The students started to wear kesari shawl. After that, the many leaders, Yashpal Suvarna, he's a vice president of that college. He given a statement that it's a 5-minute work to clear this issue using our organization. And later, the very next day, on February 1st week, he gives a statement that after Hindu, we are creating the Hindu Rashtra, we are not giving education to such kind of peoples. And many statements of MPs like Pratap Simha and many other ministers who instigated this issue.
Okay.
Later, the Kesar Shawl issue come into the row. You see, in the Kesar Shawl issue, on February 7th, MGM College in Kundapura, the issue will be erupt. So while capturing the pictures, Yashpal Suvarna has been caught in that picture. What is the need of Yashpal Suvarna going to Kundapur MGM College? And in many videos, it has been leaked that ABEP and Bajrangal members are distributing kesari shawls to students and forcing them to wear and go for colleges.
But they say the same thing about you, that you instigated it at the beginning. Okay.
Campus Front hasn't given any political statement. Campus Front hasn't given any hatred speeches or hatred statement. Campus Front from the day one seeking that the students must get their rights.
Okay, no.
That's Campus Front stand.
No, but by saying, that the Campus Front of India has nothing to do with religion, one loses a little faith when you say that, because clearly it's religious issues that you're going after in this instance as well. The question really is, who's instigating the students? Will the faketivists, the people trying to, create their own agenda on the backs of vulnerable students in crucial school years, will they all sit down? I will say it endlessly here on India Today. We are going to go after those who are using students for their own narrow purposes. Whether it is the left wing, whether it is the right wing, whether it is Muslim, whether it is Hindu, we don't care. We are on the side of the students here, and we will ask the questions. Thank you very much, Ashwin Sadik, for joining me here on 5 Live. Well, hearing in the hijab row in the Karnataka High Court concluded for the day a short while ago. It will continue once again at 2:30 tomorrow. How long is this going to go on for? Well, after the petitioner argued against the government order claiming that the state can stop harmful practices but not hijab, and that the High Court order misused by the state government, the State's Council said in court that no decision has been taken over the dress code. The government will constitute a high-level committee, we're hearing. In the meantime, the college panel will decide the uniform. Claiming that the essence of religion cannot be curtailed and that Article 25 backs the essence of religion, the petitioner highlighted that hijabs are forcefully being removed at various colleges by government officials. Drawing parallels with a South African judgment, the petitioner says we should celebrate students wearing religious symbols to schools. Well, before concluding his argument, the petitioner reiterated that under Article 25, there is no concept of subject to reasonable restrictions. Petitioner once again requested the court to permit the students to wear their hijabs along with the school or college uniforms. Joining me live are panel of reporters who've been spread across Karnataka, bringing you the very latest on this developing story. Nabila is in Udupi, Mustafa Sheikh also in Udupi, Nagarjun and Nolan joining us live from Bengaluru. This is a story that, is no longer just about Udupi. It's no longer just about Karnataka. It truly spreads all across the country at this point of time. Naga, the first question I want to ask is to you. The government is talking about some standard operating procedures. A high-level committee is being formed. As the government and the administration await some kind of finality or interim order from the High Court, the hearing is going to resume tomorrow once again. What's going to happen on the ground? Because we're seeing a multiplicity of some very unsettling scenes, arguments between teachers and parents, teachers and students. You know, this is horrible stuff. Nobody wants to see this. Is there going to be clarity from the government while we wait for the High Court to rule?
Shiv, that's absolutely true. In fact, in the last 2 days, ugly scenes and quite humiliating scenes for both students and teachers.
Yeah.
Teachers from the minority community too were asked to remove their burqa and hijab. There was one incident in Mandya where one teacher was stopped at the gate itself. She had to remove the whole burqa in front of the public, in front of the media, and only then ask. So today also did go in today to meet the Chief Minister. In fact, the MLAs of the Congress party, minority MLAs, did meet the Chief. Give them at least a space inside the school premises, maybe a room, so that they can change. Don't humiliate them by stopping them right at the gate itself. So the Chief Minister is also contemplating and is in talks with the Education Minister to bring out an SOP and tell the school authorities that give them an empty classroom so that they can remove the hijab or change their clothes till the time that the interim order is enforced. Post the court final order, of course, we will also have to follow whatever the final order.
Yeah.
The confusion is that many of them still fear the society and the media, and people who were allowing this hijab before, they're not allowing now. The institution who were supposed to allow along with the uniform, out of nowhere, they're also stopping students for asking them not to wear hijab. So it's a total confusion, chaotic situation in Karnataka. But by tonight, most likely that there might be an SOP out by the government.
Okay, so tonight, Naga says there could be an SOP out by the government. Of course, it's a different question altogether about whether SOPs will be complied with by all sides pending, an order from the High Court. What was it like in Udupi today, Nabila? We saw scenes in Mandya, in other places, where things are far from smooth. What was it like in Udupi? How is this building up now? This is kind of stretching out over many days. One was hoping for a quick word from the High Court.
Right, Udupi has been largely calm, Shiv. In fact, you have the couple of colleges in Udupi around the government college where the controversy kicked off, where they've strictly told their students that they cannot come inside classes with the hijab, but many of those institutions allowed the girls inside campus, but not inside classes with the hijab. They were allowed inside campus, made to change in the restroom and then go to class. But it was very surprising that one of the government Urdu institutions in Udupi, though, which earlier was allowing for the hijab inside, today decided that they're not going to allow hijab even in the government Urdu school. So they're still waiting for the government's verdict. In fact, it seems like there's a lot of confusion over what the interim order really states. Even though the interim order stresses upon only those institutions which already had preset guidelines, it appears that a lot of governments, in fact, a lot across several districts that Nagarjan actually mentioned now, all of them are going with a blanket ban of hijab inside classrooms. And that's what's worrisome, which is why it's so important right now for the government of Karnataka to come up with SOPs at the earliest.
Those SOPs are still very elusive. Mustafa, what's the word on the ground? Are we getting a sense of how parents and students, are going to navigate what happens over the next couple of days as we await the High Court verdict? What's it looking like? The Campus Front of India has just spoken to us saying that they will appeal whatever the High Court says if it doesn't go in their favor. Is that the sense you're getting from students and parents as well?
Well, as of now, what we have seen is that the student unions are really on the back foot. What is happening is that the students are wearing hijab, reaching the campuses, and then there are different scenes which are coming forward. What is interesting and we should look forward to it is that when tomorrow colleges in Karnataka open up, what will happen then? Because the real issue started at a PU college and it had spread to other PU colleges before the colleges had to shut down and then reopen. So tomorrow is the day in Karnataka when the colleges will be opening up, and if till that time the SOPs are not in, then same scenarios can be repeated. And also it would be interesting to see whether those girls who have petitioned the court, whether they come to the colleges, whether they attend colleges without hijab, because hijab will not be allowed. That's the interim order which clearly states. So these are things we'll have to look forward, and only then one can say that the Karnataka police is also keeping an eye on the law and order of this entire educational institution, because they also fear that sentiments are running high if these kind of scenes also turn up tomorrow. It's being captured in the camera, showed on national television. So it is humiliating, but also it can cause some kind of law and order issue, and we'll have to wait and see how the police prepares for it. Back to you.
And Nolan, finally to you, in the run-up to the standard operating procedures that the Bombay government is expected to, unveil today, with colleges opening tomorrow, what else do the parents of students need to know? They've been watching India Today. We've been inundated. All of you have been inundated with messages and calls from our viewers on your social media asking for clarity. The High Court is going to, hear this tomorrow. The SOPs might come out this evening. But what can you share? What do parents of students need to know before colleges reopen tomorrow?
Well, Shiv, in fact, Nagarjun, Nabila and Mustafa have actually told us what really is happening on the ground. We have seen how in some colleges, I beg your pardon, in some schools, students were actually allowed to wear their hijab. In some other schools, they were not allowed to wear. And in some other schools, they were actually allowed to enter and then asked to actually leave. So what parents have to understand is best is to wait for the government. The Karnataka government knows what is happening over here. The Chief Minister yesterday also stated that they might just come out with a standard operating procedure in order to avoid those scenes that were seen, especially yesterday, where students and teachers were asked to remove their burqa or the hijab outside. Initially, earlier they were actually asked, they were allowed to enter the campus, go to a changing room, remove their burqa and then go to their class. But this time around, schools were also confused as to what should we do. The High Court says you allow students to enter schools. The government order says that they should not wear the hijab inside, no religious attire. So schools also were a bit confused. In order to avoid any sort of problems, they did this. So they have parents best to wait for the standard operating procedure and follow the government rules. That is it.
So that's
exams, most important, nothing else.
So that's your big heads up then. As we all await clarity from the court, standard operating procedures is going to be the template that most will have to follow until there is finality from the court. Thanks very much to all of you for joining me on this story. Nobody reporting this story like India Today's reporters on the ground between Udupi and Bengaluru. So continue to watch us. We are the #1 channel on this story and everything else for a reason, because we have no fake breaking news here. We only give you the facts. This is about the students. This isn't about the fringe. We don't care about the fringe. We care about the students and their examinations that are coming up.